the band Brand New Sin.
How you doing? I'm Kevin. I play drums.
I'm Joe. I sing.
All right, so who came up with the name for the band, Brand New Sin?
My guitar player Chris came up with it. We had fought for months, pretty much, trying to figure out 4 or 5 months, trying to come up with the name of the band. And we had the first record actually recorded, and things were already going. Our record label's like, hey, you guys really should come up with a name for this thing, you know? So, you know, we'd come up with one name, and 4 people would be cool with it, 2 people wouldn't, or, you know, vice versa. And one day he just called and said, what do you guys think of Brand New Sin? And I think it was finally a resounding yes, because it didn't really mean too much. It wasn't like we were looking to, you know, have some huge meaning behind it. We just came up with a name. It sounded cool, and I think we were going to make a name for it ourselves.
So it was in.
Yes, it was.
All right. I love when I go to bands' websites and I find all these cool little quotes and things. On something I was reading about you guys, someone gave a quote that described you as the kind of jukebox bravado that's the perfect backing track for a barroom brawl.
I love that quote.
That's a media phrase. It's kind of like, you know, salad dressing is using the word zesty. It's not in the dictionary. But they're creative. That's their job to be like that. You know?
I like it because I really think it is.
Yeah.
I mean, all Brand New Sin is a glorified bar band. That's all we are. I mean, you could picture us playing in some, you know, some bar in a corner, playing for beer money and some hamburgers, you know. Which we've done before.
So is that the best way to describe your sound, or do you have anything you want to add to that?
It's rock, man. It's yeah, no frills. We're not trying to show off. It's just really
Excellent.
Music you can too. Yes, I can't say
Thank you
that
for
word.
the censoring. We appreciate that.
out of the beat.
What bands would you say have had the most major influence on you?
It's different with everybody in this band because we all come from a lot of different backgrounds, but at least for me, growing up, it was, you know, the classic rock of the 70s, Smith, and, you know, Skinner and Allman Brothers, Journey and all that stuff, because I had older brothers who had got me in that. And then I think the one thing that really changed my life and what I knew what kind of music I was going to listen to for the rest of my life was I heard Metallica for the first time when I was probably like 12 or 13, and it was on from that pretty much. Kevin?
Well, you can't forget about bands like Zeppelin and Sabbath.
Yep.
AC/DC is a big influence. Those are the kinds of bands that, across the board, regardless of our personal backgrounds, we all created. We like a good AC/DC album, good Metallica album, enjoy the whole album.
Definitely. Everyone can relate to that.
Right.
Where do you get the inspiration for your lyrics?
Most of my lyrics and the ones that I write are usually very personal, demon-driven more or less, like the personal battles that I'm waging in my head and in my life, and I guess that's the best way to deal with them because, you know, I dealt with anxiety and depression and panic attacks for years and years and years, and I guess my best outlet came down to I started writing about it and writing about why I was feeling that way and all this and that, and to this day that's a really big influence on my writing. It's always personal based, always something that I can connect with, because I think that, you know, some people are storytellers and they'll comment on situations that they see and stuff like that, but for me, the people that write about stuff that happened in their own life, that's the stuff I can connect with. That's where the soul comes from, because someone who actually lived what they're singing about, and it definitely shows, and that's what I hope to show in my music and the way I write lyrics.
Music can be very therapeutic.
Oh, it's the best therapy in the world. I mean, everybody listens to music.
The thing about Joe's writing, even though it might sound like a depressing, melancholy topic matter, there's always hope in the lyrics. He's going to prevail. You can see it. It's evident. And it's the way our album's kind of laid out, like a recipe for disaster. These things are in front of us that look monumental and like we'll never overcome, but we will, and we know it.
I mean, music is therapy, and one thing I always tell people, not everybody watches TV, not everybody reads books, not everybody drives a car, not everybody goes to school, but you know what? Everybody listens to music.
Definitely.
Everybody. There's not one person you can find this, as goofy as their music might be, and as eccentric as it might be, somebody listens to, you listen to music. in some way, shape, or form.
Well, since you brought up Recipe for Disaster, we're going to talk about that. That's your newest album, and it's out now on Century Media.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about it, about creating it.
Fighting constantly, to get to where we at, and trying to be successful and get a tour and at least get to the next town or fix a flat tire or write something good. It goes on and on. It's like people that we've worked with, labels that we've worked with, everything that we've had around us could be easily a recipe for disaster. Like how you guys are still a band is amazing. Sometimes I even say, how have we not broke up? How have we not killed each other?
There's events that would have definitely sent most bands, either into bankruptcy or into a fight.
Exactly, and that's where Recipe Disaster comes from. My take on all of us dying is that, I think throughout the course of this record, all of us, a little part of us died, not like really, I guess obviously metaphorically, but what it comes down to is like something in us changed.
Definitely.
But at the end of the day, when this record had finally came out, and after all the BS that we had to go through to get to this point, is that we're still lingering there. The train tracks, you see me get crushed by a train, or I'm about to, and the next thing you do, you see the train tracks, so I'm still there. I'm still here. We're all still here.
Yeah.
You can still see us, and we're still looking at you like, hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you've tried to beaten us down. You've tried to make us not be in this business, but you know what? We're here still.
Yeah.
Well, I read that you guys originally had about 70 songs for this album.
Yep.
How did you narrow it down?
Give or take 10 or 20. Jesus.
We basically gave everybody in the band, everyone had homework, and everyone go home.
Homework.
Yeah, I know. But we all went home, and it was everybody's job to come up with, what do you think the track listing for this record should be, what songs are on it, and artwork. Everyone had to come up with their own concept of what this record was going to be, because otherwise, man, we would have been sitting there for months trying to figure out what we wanted to do. So we got back, and then we had a list. I think there was a total of 30 some odd songs between the five of us. But there was a core of about five songs on everybody's list that were definitely unanimous. Yeah. So the tough part was finding the other 7 or 8 that we were going to do. So basically we took that list, and then everybody voted once again. We got it down to like 20 some odd, and then we voted once again. And we basically got it down to 15, and we recorded 15 for the record and ended up putting 12 on and pulled 3 off to wait for a later day, and just weren't happy with the way they came out. And also the record label was like, your record's going to be over 60 minutes long. In this day and age, 60 minutes, it's hard to keep anybody's attention for more than 3, let alone 60 of them.
Yeah, I guess we got to credit our label a little bit on that one. They gave us, I'd have to say, complete artistic freedom.
Yeah.
They gave suggestions. The ultimate decisions were left up to us, even when it came down to producing.
Yeah, and they said that, they're like, only Brand New Sin knows what's best for Brand New Sin at the end of the day, which is very cool.
That's true. I know you guys played with VLS about 3 years ago. You played a couple shows with them. So how excited were you to be asked to come back and get on this tour with them?
We've been waiting to come back and do this again, and obviously our schedule wasn't matching up with theirs, and in this business it's tough to get 2 bands together at the same time that have always been, we made good friends with Zach and Nick and Craig and everybody in the crew years ago that, we always talked about doing it again, and Zach called us, and management called us and said, they want you to be a part of the tour. You guys, obviously we said yes.
Yeah.
But this time around, it's like the last time we were out, we were playing, clubs that held 300, 400, 500 people, and now we're playing, a place like this, and it's 2,800. We played a show in Hampton Beach, New Hampshire. It was 2,400.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing to see that Black Label has grown, and they're willing to bring us out and, kind of let us ride their coattails and grab their fans as well, which is, I can thank them from now until, the end of my career for giving us this opportunity once again.
Excellent. Well, what would you say to date is your favorite Brand New Sin song?
Oh, man. You asked me that.
Yeah, because it's a hard question.
Kevin, do you have it? Because I can't even think about it right now.
All right.
He's processing.
If you asked me last week, it's going to be different than today.
Yeah.
And it'll be different next week.
All right.
I haven't played it on stage in a while. I'm going to say Brown Street Betty.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a real thick groove.
Yeah.
Ever.
I really, this one we haven't played a while, either is the last song on the record called Wyoming.
Yeah.
I just really love that. It's really time to sit back in the set, and for me to just, I love singing it because it's so like, I'm singing balls out a lot on a lot of songs, but that one just like, it's so like soul purging. It's just like stuff comes out of me, and just I love performing that song too. But then again, ask me next week and I'll probably change my mind.
Yeah.
Oh, what is in the future for Brand New Sin?
Great
Touring.
things.
I don't want to go home. You know, a band like us needs to be on the road, needs to be in front of people. We're not a band that's, you know, can be plastered all over MTV and being played on a commercial radio station 35 times a day. So our best avenue to get to fans is to be in front of fans.
Yeah,
to be in different towns in front of them, whether it's 20 people or 2,000 people. We got to keep doing it, and that's, you know, all the biggest bands in the world have made it because they toured nonstop. Metallica did it, you know. I mean, as goofy as it sounds, Grateful Dead did it.
Yeah.
You know, the Grateful Dead, have they ever sold 1 million records on one record? I don't
That's
know.
not
It
goofy
doesn't
at all.
matter.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like the style or not, you have to respect
They
it.
toured their butts off, and when they were still around, they were the top grossing act every year.
As far as the future, a little bit of recent news. Are you familiar with what we did last week? WWE. We recorded a theme song for Big Show.
Cool.
There's another avenue we haven't, you know,
there's-
many bands have it.
Right.
We're just hoping that we can keep going the way we are, being on the road, or not on the road, writing for another record, and just constantly keep as busy as possible, because when we don't get busy, all of us fall into, you know, either a depression or a drinking bender, which is larger than a drinking bender that usually I'm when we are playing. But but this is what all of us, all 5 of us, were meant to do in
Yeah,
life, and
it's a
this
self-worth
is what
thing,
we're
you
gonna
know,
do.
if we are sitting home, no matter what our situation is personally or family-wise, part of me starts to die away a little bit the longer we sit home.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with him. We got to be on the road.
We
The
gotta be,
crowd
but-
is energy. It gives you life.
Good.
What kind of advice do you have for aspiring musicians?
Answered this question earlier, and
It gets long-winded.
It does get long-winded,
I
but
gotta
I
say
basically
Okay.
these are the 2 things I say. 1, find 3 or 4 or 5, no matter how big your band is. Find people that you can connect with on a music level and personal, because this is, as much as you say we're doing this a job as a musician, you got to connect with these people on a personal level, and become really close with them, whether you like them or not, right, Kevin? No, I'm just kidding. But and the other thing
comment.
is hone your skills, write good music, practice.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is be willing to sacrifice everything. And when I say everything, I'm talking everything that you can possibly think of in your life. Be willing to either 1, lose it, or 2, have strained relationships, no money, credit cards maxed, not knowing if you're going to be able to make ends meet and get enough money to get to practice the next day. You know, the list goes on and on, but be willing to sacrifice anything and go anywhere and anytime.
Yeah, I can follow up a little bit on that. 2 things. If you have nothing, you have nothing to lose.
Yes.
Exactly.
And if any of your friends or family try to talk you out of it, reconsider being friends with them.
Yeah.
Or even associating with them.
Be
You can't just disown your family, obviously. They care about you, they're worried about your well-being.
Maybe
But
sometimes.
you're not going to have security in this business. There's no
Exactly. I mean, you really gotta, you know, all of us, you know, a couple of guys in the band have kids and wives, and Kevin's got a baby on the way, and you know, and I was married. I'm not married anymore because since I started this band, so
I was an intellectual, I'm not anymore.
you know, things change, but at the same time, I'm not trying to scare aspiring musicians. At the same time, I'll tell them, I'm looking right in the camera, this is the most fun, exciting thing you could ever possibly do. And if you never make any money out of doing this, so be it. You're going to die with some of the best stories you've ever had in life. So,
What last words would you like to give to your Rebel Access fans who are going to be watching this?
buy our record, come to our shows, tell a friend, tell another friend, tell another friend. Go to brandnewsin.com, brandnewsin.org. Just get into our music, and if you dig and like what you do, or like what we do, I should say, tell as many people, man, because we can never have enough fans. Kevin?
request us on the radio.
Yeah.
That's the biggest help we could ever get.
Even if they say no, call them up again tomorrow and say, and then have another friend do it. Eventually, they can't ignore you.
Yeah.
Either they're going to just ignore you altogether and block your phone call. Or they might
It's that guy again.
or they'll be like, you know what, we got to check out this brand new Sin band.